We have a lot of people in the room, so please, if you wish to ask any questions, then do so through the chair and through the top table. Thank you. Edna.
Thank you, Chair. It's just in Halewood, when the police station was closed, we were promised that we would have a hub. That never materialised, and we have not got one. We had, a while ago, we had a problem, and I got in touch with the officer, and then I got an email which really shouldn't have come to me. It was to go to another officer. With that, I got in touch with Gemma, and we worked out that we ended up having police officers or the police DSOs to come round Halewood because of the shots that we didn't think we were having there. Now I'm glad with that we have moved on, and we've had them come to town council and that's great. And I do congratulate you on the Facebook pages and everything. It's good to see that. But what I do find a bit awkward and a bit silly really is that you've got a van that comes into the car park with two officers to stand there. If I had something to complain about somebody else in this day and age, I wouldn't like to be standing talking to a police officer about them. I'd be very nervous in doing that. So I feel as though really that could be done indoors, and maybe the council may be able to help with like giving you a room in the one-stop shop or something like that. But I think it's a waste of two police officers standing in a car park where I can't see anyone in Halewood going in and this is happening in our area. It's not going to happen. And I just feel as though that we haven't got the best service, I don't think, in Halewood with the police service, but that's my opinion. But yeah, if you could look into that, I'd be very grateful.
Thank you. Can we just go to Gary and then we'll get some more questions?
Thank you, Mayor. Just to echo the comments of my colleague also from Halewood, and public confidence is important when it comes to the police, and the reassurance of seeing officers is important. But as my colleague said, two officers in a van asking people to come and speak to them is not helpful. I do have to congratulate the officers on the work that they've done with scrambler bikes, and the way I found out about it as an elected member is through Twitter. So I think it does work and it does bring some confidence to the public. But seeing officers on the street or the CSOs in a van is important. And in Halewood for a very long time, and forgive me because I know resources are very stretched, you only get public confidence when people start to see the officers, whether that's in a van or actually on the street. And to see those officers in Halewood bring some of that public confidence, it gives people the confidence to speak to the officers about issues. So when we see on the slide a reduction in antisocial behaviour, I don't believe that's factual when it comes to people feeling confident to report issues. In Halewood, that's not the case. And I can speak as someone who's reported it and waited 2 hours in the park and no one came. Would I feel confident to do it again? Probably not. If I feel like that as a representative of the community, I'm pretty sure they feel just as frustrated as I do. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Gary. Margie.
I can echo what Gary's just said about seeing the police officers and the actions taken, and people will not report. They are frightened. I was inundated at the weekend on the hillside area from the problems that we're having with the travellers at Primrose Court, and on the way they're driving around the estate erratically and in a 20-mile-an-hour.
Thank you for your comments. I will bring Claire in a second. I'll just clear up a few initial points if I may. Do people have confidence reports to the police? So you get 1 million calls a year. So that's an awful lot of Merseyside residents who've got confidence that something is happening. Over the last 12 months in Knowsley, increased stop searches by more than 100%. Just in Knowsley. That shows the proactive policing that's going on the streets. We've increased the number of arrests massively across the force and within Knowsley, and that's because our officers are being proactive in what they do. Picking up the specific issues, the two officers stood in the van, more than happy to speak to them, but that's not the best way of doing it. And there's more visibility now than there was 3 years ago in FBCUs, because of the way that we're actually doing our approach to policing, which is borderless. So when there are issues in various areas, you get more police officers. Quite simple. I and the PCC are absolutely steadfast in our approach to neighbourhood policing. A lot of forces around the country dispense with neighbourhood policing. We still have local police officers, but more importantly, we have local targeting officers. Officers who go out, stop searching, officers who go out putting doors in when the doors need to go in, officers who make sure the presence is felt in local communities, because that is needed, both in Halewood, in Huyton, and Prescot. Let's not kid ourselves. I've been in the police for 30 odd years. People have never rushed towards the police officer to report things in certain areas. Certain other areas they have done. That's always been the case. I used to work in Huyton, worked there for many years, going back to the 80s, and it's no different. Yeah? I didn't get an awful lot of assistance from certain sections of the community. From other sections, I got great assistance. That's always been the case. So nothing's changed. Most of the crime is down. You've got a reduction in burglary in Knowsley, a reduction in car crime in Knowsley, a reduction in robberies in Knowsley. So it's easy to take the dim view, the pessimistic view, and I ask you, just put our optimistic heads on around this. Things in policing are improving despite the fact that I have 1,100 less police officers than I had 5 years ago. Despite that, we're making more arrests and we're doing more stop searches. That means the police officers working in Knowsley are working extremely hard to keep you as safe as possible. The 2 officers that you see around Halewood, I think they're 2 special constables as well. We have an awful lot of volunteer police officers who give their own time up to make a difference. And without those, we couldn't achieve what we're achieving. What we are achieving, ladies and gents, we've got the best performing Metropolitan Police Force in the country. There's no other Metropolitan Police Force that comes close to us. That's not me saying that, it's Her Majesty's Inspectors of Constabulary. And the 5th best force in the country. The forces ahead of us are the likes of Durham and the small forces that don't have the challenges of this county. So you can be proud of the police officers that you've got and the police staff that you've got. They're doing a fantastic job to keep people safe with the resources that we have, and we continue to do that. Now we are getting home in Halewood, and the detail.
Thanks for your comments. Yeah, we are still, but the Halewood Police Station needs to be refurbished before it can be opened as a community police station. But it was discussed today with Mike from the PCC's office that we are committed to doing that. I can't give you a time scale on that, but it is going ahead. You're absolutely right. Do need private space to be able to talk to us and report issues. So I couldn't agree more with you in relation to that. I'm really appreciative of the feedback with regards to the officers that we have had in the Scrambler Bike issue and the number of seizures that we're having, because the reason we've had those seizures in Halewood is down to the information that the community is giving us. So, I mean, just to quote one example, we had a piece of intelligence that came in at 11 o'clock on one evening. It just came in, I think it was a direct message or an email that came into the community account. The officer picked it up and messaged one of our officers who was coming on in the morning to say, can you come on an hour earlier? Well, actually, it was 2 hours earlier, get down to Halewood because the bikes are stored behind these flats. Good as gold, he came in and he got the bikes, which is brilliant. We can't always react at that pace, but it's down to the information that the community gives us. I can't stress that anymore in relation to the Scrambler bikes. In terms of, Margaret, in terms of the hillside issues on Primrose Court, Gemma and I have got a meeting on Monday with the executives in relation to that land and the asset manager from the council. There's been a problem solving group in place for some considerable time to try and iron out the issues in relation to the land ownership and the tenants within those premises. But we're fully committed to reviewing what the information that we have got and what legislation we can use to take action in relation to those individuals. But what I would say is, if you said that you are Saturday night, you're getting calls from everyone. If you're able to give us any information or names that would help us in relation to that, because it's firmly on our agenda. We recognise that it's got to be addressed before it gets out of hand. Absolutely, and I am aware of the family that have moved into Liverpool, hopefully temporarily. But, so thank you.
Thank you. We'll have 10 things after you can contact Constable Wynn and then Councillor Councillor Cashman, please.
We've had a lot of antisocial behaviour in Prescot North. We've had our cars kicked in, mirrors knocked off, and everything like that. When I approached one of your officers, I said to them, you know, can you do something? Get some officers out here, or you know, to come out. And she turned around and said, you don't take priority, Kirby does. And also we've got to cover Gattaca.
Okay, thanks for that call, John.
Thank you for that presentation, Superintendent. It was really informative. I just wanted to commend what you've done over social media and the use of Twitter, really. I used it on mischief nights when something happened on my road, a car crashed into a fence, and the response was immediate, so that was fantastic. My question's around the shift from core policing to from physical to online, sorry. And obviously that's because of the awful cuts from central government to the police force. So obviously what you're having to do is you're having less police, you're having to try and influence public opinion more. Have you got a strategy for doing that, particularly over mischief nights?
That's what the glasses off. That's the glasses off. Here's the first question. I mean, there is a local policing team in Prescot. So Kirby is a priority when Kirby needs to be a priority, and Prescot's a priority when Prescot needs to be a priority. But there are always police officers there. Always. Councillor, I know there are, because they're actually based there. So you'll see those officers quite often who deal in that Prescot area. There are times when our resources are stretched, undoubtedly. I don't know whether in Gattaca either. Gattaca doesn't usually get much of a police presence, to be honest with you. I mean, the woman that live in Gattaca, they don't see much of a police presence either. The precinct goes when it's needed. The good news for Knowsley is that it's needed more in Knowsley than it is in Gattaca, usually, Bolton, usually, Formby, etc., because it's a bigger challenge for policing. So you do tend to get more police officers getting deployed than other parts of the force area. And that will always be the case. So I don't dispute what the officer said to you. Why he or she said it, I don't know, but we have got a policing presence. In relation to social media approach and mischief night, yes, the planning for mischief night started already, together with the fire service, local authority and others around Merseyside. We will be using it extensively in the run-up to mischief night as we use it. We do have a very strong social media approach. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. We have targeted communication from the force as a whole, and I encourage individual officers and staff to use it as well, to trust them to put the right things out. So there's no sort of Stalin-esque sort of approach that only certain people can put tweets out. Anyone can put a tweet out if they want to. If they get it wrong, they get it wrong. It's not in the best interest, that's not a problem for me. Okay. So everyone's encouraged to do it. We were a bit slow coming into the social media world. We've moved on leaps and bounds in the last 2 years, and we'll continue to do that, because as you know, it's the best way now of getting our message across. It doesn't suit everyone, but we're capturing an awful lot more people, we're feeding information and results, and increasing confidence.
Thank you. Councillor Morgan, I think you want to say some words how we finish this off.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a couple of comments that Councillor Cashman said. Yeah, you know, the challenging circumstances that you had, losing over 1,100 officers over this government and the previous government before, is totally unfair, especially for the residents of Knowsley in the city region. If you've seen the figures that were sent out to us over the mischief night, we were the lowest incidents in Knowsley this year in the whole of the city region. So at least something's been done right, working in the partnership with the council under challenging circumstances and the budget cuts that we've had. Myself and George Howarth MP and Mark Butterworth met with two of you just prior to Christmas with Jane Kennedy, and I think we had a really honest and open opinion. I had some frustrations, and hopefully they've been ironed out. And I'm glad to tell you now that I'm on Twitter, I'm led to believe. So I'll listen to what you said, and we can use that with, to get some messages out as well. But on a personal note as well, I've worked with Claire personally in the past from the Fire and Rescue for a couple of years, and I know that Claire would do 200% to look after us in Knowsley, and she's doing that already. And hopefully some of the conversations we've had, the sort of feedback and the communication with our people now is now coming through. So hopefully we'll get there. And I know you've got a challenging job, and there will be frustrations by us all, but many thanks for your honest opinions today in your presentation, and good luck for the future. So thank you.
Thank you, Eden. So shall we thank our folks for coming in today? It's been a very good. Now on to item 6,